So for this recipe, I love fennel, and today we're gonna actually be grilling it. So you can do this on the barbecue. I've got a little grill pan. We're doing it inside, obviously.
If you're not a fennel fan, you're going to be converted not only by today's recipe, but our newest YouTube video is all about fennel. So Jeremy's talking about the flavor profile of fennel, and I'm talking about all of the nutritional components. So if you go to YouTube/ELLICSR Kitchen, you will find our fennel video. And
so what we're doing here is, and I mean, you can use anything for this, but we're just grilling it just a couple minutes per side, just until it softens a little bit. With fennel especially, it has raw, which we eat a lot raw. We use make it in nice salads. It's got a really nice, mild, subtle flavor, a little bit of that anise flavor to it. Once you cook it, once you grill it, the sugars start to caramelize, and it is absolutely incredible. It's really, really tasty. So if you haven't tried it cooked, definitely try cooked. And like I said, barbecue, stovetop, and this is just a medium heat, or you can even just put it directly into the oven and roast it in the oven.
Might get some extra nutrients.
So after I just grilled it off, I'm just putting it into a baking dish. The final dish is gonna be done all in the oven. So I'm gonna line the baking dish, and then, and this is a really, really simple, very simple recipe. For pork tenderloin. Now, for those who aren't comfortable cooking meat, I know not everybody is afraid, or not everyone's comfortable with you know, they maybe fear overcooking it or just destroying it, and sometimes an inexpensive product. I understand that. Pork tenderloin is a great meat source to use. It's very lean. It is relatively inexpensive as well, which is why it's an excellent cut. And because it's the tenderloin, it stays really tender, even if it has a pretty good grace period. So even if you cook it a little over, it still stays pretty juicy. Still stays really nice and tender. So really easy one to maybe start off with. You know, don't use maybe the expensive cuts of beef or something if you're afraid to destroy those.
A nice thing about pork tenderloin, many people don't realize, is it's actually just as lean, if not leaner, than chicken breast. So very, very lean cut. Very important if you're trying to watch your saturated fat intake. So from a heart health point of view, if you're gonna go for meat, it's a great choice.
And so we're gonna season this pretty simply. I just have some black pepper, some salt, just a pinch of salt, and you can do anything. You can even do, like, I love smoked paprika. I was going a little heavy on the smoked paprika last week, so I decided to take a break. But you can definitely do that. Ground mustard is really nice on this.
My grandma always puts balsamic vinegar on it.
Balsamic vinegar. You can marinate this ahead of time. It marinates really well. And that's it, very simple. Just salt and pepper and just a little bit of olive oil. And I'm gonna actually cook it on this flat top. I can use the same pan. You can definitely use the same pan you grill your fennel in. And all I want to do, this is grapeseed oil, by the way. So grapeseed oil, we've talked about before, it has a little bit of higher smoking point. So it'll withstand higher heats without burning on you, without smoking on you. And it's a very neutral oil, so there's really no flavor at all. So it's a really nice oil to use. So medium-high heat, and just about a tablespoon. I don't need too much. I know it's hot enough. I mean, as soon as I put any ingredient in there, you'll hear if it's hot enough. It'll start to sizzle. But even before you put it in, once it starts to almost shimmer on you, that's a good sign that it's hot enough. If it starts to smoke, throw it out.
That's right. If your oil smokes, that means it's burnt. So you're losing the nutritional value, but even more scary than that is smoking oil means that it's actually produced carcinogens. So chemicals that are linked to causing cancer. So you want to throw out that oil, clean your pan, and start fresh.
So that's a good sound. It's not screaming at me. I know it's at a good heat level, and we're just going to monitor that. And all I want to do is get a nice sear, about a minute, not even per side, just so you get a little bit of color. With pans, even on the barbecue, but especially with flat pans, meat, especially any sort of protein, has a tendency to stick. That's usually a sign that it's not ready to be lifted. So even with this isn't a non-stick pan. This is a cast iron pan. If I try to pull this now, it's not going anywhere. And if if I really try to pull it, I'm just going to tear it and I'm going to destroy it and make a mess in the pan. It'll naturally release for you. So I'll give it about a minute or so. I'll try it again. If it releases up, then I know it's a good sear, it's perfect, and I can flip it. Fish, most fish are kind of the same way, you know, it tends to stick to the pan. Leave it, don't touch it, just let it do its thing, and it'll naturally release. The proteins will actually
it'll let you know when it's ready to flip over.
It's not a good move. Okay, so we're going to bring this over. We're going to put that on top of the fennel. And if I'm using one, I could probably just do a smaller pan. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to have a little bit of lemon juice here that I'm just going to put on top.
It's a beautiful lean protein.
And you can put a little bit of water, a little bit of stock if you want in the bottom of the pan. Not much. You just need maybe a couple tablespoons just to provide a little bit of moisture and just to make sure that nothing is burning. And I have the oven set at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So pretty hot. It's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes. So I can either wrap it with foil, or you can even throw, if you have the tops of the fennel, these we actually grew in our garden, in the ELLICSR garden. This is called bronze fennel. So this will grow out of the ground. It'll go pretty tall. A lot of people throw it out because they think that there's an actual fennel bulb underneath. They pull it out, there's no fennel bulb, so they'll chuck it. But this is just, it's meant as an herb. So you can use this for, I mean, as it is in a salad, in anything. I'm just let's use a knife, and then you just throw it on top. Just a little bit on top. And what this does, instead of the foil, just a little bit.
Jeremy loves that fennel flavor.
I'm gonna take it off after. What this is doing is it's almost giving me a little tent, providing me with like a little tent. It's gonna keep the moisture in, prevent it from like burning if it's too hot. And that's gonna go into the oven again for about 10 to 15 minutes, so not long at all. And we'll make some room here. Okay, so it's going to go into the fridge because I don't have any room. But at home, you'd put it right into the oven. And for the sauce, we're going to make a really nice, really quick herb sauce. This is almost like an Argentinian sauce called chimichurri. Has anyone heard of chimichurri before? Delicious. And you can use any sort of fresh herbs. This is parsley. You can use cilantro. Some fresh mint, basil. So we're going to put that in there. I've got some capers. This is just going to give it a really nice, almost like brininess to it.
So you don't need to add too much extra salt to
No,
this
you
sauce.
taste it. Definitely taste it before you season it.
The capers are going to make it nice and salty.
Mm-hmm. It's really, really simple. This caper's going to go in. Garlic. Now, chimichurri sauce usually has a ton of garlic. You add as much as you like. I think I put on there like 3 or 4 cloves. This is like a giant clove, so this is probably all I need. And what I'm doing is using a rasp, and I'm just grating it in there. So it's a really, really fine mince, so you don't get a big chunk.
Well, this is great. If you're like me and your knife skills aren't the sharpest, you can, a little food humor for you. You could always just grate it right on in there.
That just
use
flies
your rasp.
by me. No. All right, so garlic's going to go in there really nice and fine. We're going to add a little bit of vinegar. This is just white vinegar. Any vinegar. Sherry vinegar would be really nice in here if you want. Even balsamic vinegar.
Red wine vinegar.
Red wine vinegar.
Apple cider.
Sure, apple cider vinegar.
Name a vinegar. There
Balsamic.
you go. Balsamic would be lovely.
A little bit of olive oil in there. And we're going to just stir this up. And at this point, you can taste it, season it. I'm just going to add a little bit of black pepper. And this isn't traditionally used, but I found some really great currants, red currants, at the farmer's market. And I just thought I'd put them in there. So pork is usually really nice with some sort of fruit or even like tart berries. Mulberries, which harder to find to buy, but they grow everywhere in the city. are delicious to use. They have a nice little sweetness, tartness to it. So there's a few in there.
It looks like they're hairy.
Yeah.
Don't serve it like this,
No,
or
no, no.
your guests might question
like
your
that.
cooking skills.
Don't serve it like this. So this will come off, but you can even, I put it on the bottom. Maybe it does look a little hairy, but really,
other
really
white
nice
meat.
flavor. Really, really nice flavor there. And I'm gonna get the cutting board. We'll just slice this. So this needs a little bit more time. So I'm gonna put it back in, but you can see
Show
just
them
by
the
cutting
blushing.
into it, see how it's blushing a little bit? I know that needs a little bit more time. So I'm gonna put that back in.
What
but
color should it be?
you want it almost just slightly pink. Very, very slightly, and then as that sits, that's gonna cook even more. Another thing to do as well, which I didn't do just because of the time, but with any sort of meat, let it rest for about 10 minutes. That's actually it's gonna cook it up even another level, and all the juices are gonna start to come back into the proteins so that it just doesn't run all over the place.